Yeah, like whatever he say, it seems a bit outrageous, a bit racist at times, but you must see what does he really do.
Donald Trump has just been elected as the president of the US.
Yes.
Some people are very happy, celebrating, and some people are just in utter shock. Who do you think is the better president, Kamala or Donald Trump?
I feel that Donald Trump will make a better president because one of the best indication of future performance is his past performance. Okay. And one thing we know for sure, Obama's time, right? Putin invaded Georgia. Then comes Donald Trump time. Putin didn't do anything for 4 years. During Biden's administration, Putin invaded Ukraine. Yeah, so I can say for sure that I might not say for sure.
Thinking for sure.
You can see, if past performance is a good indication of future performance, right? I believe that he might be the one, right, that can stop the war that Ukraine and Russia is in right now.
Well, that would be good. That's a much needed support that we need right now.
I will have that war finished and done and settled before I get to the White House as president-elect. I will get that done.
For me, I think Trump also. So you mentioned about like national security sense, right? I would say for a start, he was already in that position during the 2017 to 2021. Having to gone through the grid of being in that position gives him a slight edge over Kamala. Okay. And on top of that, right, under his administration, I think he introduced tax cuts. So the thing about tax cut is it's good for businesses and the economy, because businesses will be more eased up and spending power and everything. Yeah, high incentive and stuff like that. And what more important, right, is it drives innovation. And US being US, they are the top country in the world. In order to cement that position, right, I feel innovation is very, very much needed. Because
that's true.
It gives you the edge over other countries. You are always one step ahead of everybody else. And then when that happens, everybody goes to you, want to work with US, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So I think Trump is a better candidate.
You think Kamala or?
I also think that Trump is a better candidate. Okay. Yeah. Because firstly, right, he's a no-nonsense guy. Secondly, right, he is an unpredictable person. So
I don't know good or bad.
like this pointer seems bad, right? Like it sounds like it's against him, right? But it's actually working for Trump and working for US. So for someone who is like so dominant, so powerful, right, to be the president in a country, right, this is actually to say that to other people, right, don't come and play a fool with me. Because, right, when they want to like put out any policies or before they take any decision making into consideration, right, they will have this at the back of their mind. So they don't...
It's true.
Should I mess with Trump or not?
Yeah, correct.
What he said publicly about wanting to improve relations with Russia and resolve the Ukraine conflict, I think that at least deserves attention.
Just now I was saying that he's an unpredictable person, right? He will just come up with some crazy thoughts or like ideas or just even threats to different countries or people, right?
I will rain hellfire on you.
So all these things, right, actually, it may seem very crazy, right? But the thing about US, right, this is not how they work. There will be cabinets or like people who are in position to stop all these things or all these thoughts before it's being executed.
It's not one man decide everything.
Yeah,
it is too extreme.
Yeah, so I believe, right, he has a very special position where he can go all out, but then also there are people pulling him.
Unlike us, there are a lot of Singaporeans who feel the other way. And a lot of them were gunning very fiercely for Kamala Harris.
The woke crowd.
The woke crowd, yes. It is the woke crowd. And after she lost, headline, Kamala lost. After she lost, a lot of them still couldn't digest the news well. They didn't take it the right way. So here are a few comments from probably her ardent fans. First one, 4 more years of entertainment and stock rises. Okay, so he's basically mocking Trump. What are your thoughts on this?
So it's quite true, eh? The market has already been on a bull run for quite some time. Now after the election, right, the market goes up even more.
Yeah, it will drop.
It will drop.
Because it's way too high already.
But the thing about stocks, right, is I think is you can quite directly translate into trust and confidence in something. Be it company, be it
The US economy.
the US
it shows
economy, and
confidence.
the country and stuff like that. So now it increases when Trump is in position, right? I think that shows that people over the world believe that Trump can lead US in the good direction, in the better direction.
Here's the next comment. Probably worse news for non-Americans when considering his racist policies. And another guy was just making fun of him also lah. So what are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. I feel that for Donald Trump, right, you cannot take his words right on face value. You cannot take
Literal.
Yeah, correct. Because he may have said some racist things, right? There a lot of people that is backing him during his election, right? They are like, there's this black woman that come out like, oh, you saved my college and whatnot, and there's like proof that he pumped money into like schools and whatnot. Yeah, like whatever he say, it seems a bit outrageous, a bit racist at times, but you must see what does he really do.
It's actually the truth because the black community they actually like Trump a
They
lot.
love him.
Trump or Harris?
Trump all the way, that's my boy.
Okay, there's actually one thing I want to raise with regards to the racist policies part. Okay, this is a video by Joe Biden.
If I'm elected president, have an opportunity to appoint someone to the courts, I'll appoint the first black woman to the courts. It's required that they have representation now. It's long overdue. Secondly, if I'm elected president, my cabinet, my administration will look like the country. And I commit that I will, in fact, pick a woman to be vice president.
Okay, so this was a commitment he made publicly regarding who he's going to choose for the courts and also as his vice president. There is a term in the US called DEI. It's basically your diversity, equity, and inclusivity kind of programs lah. And what they do is they try to bring people from minority groups and give them a chance to excel maybe in managerial roles or leadership positions and stuff. Why? Because they feel maybe based on the history that you have faced, you might have been given certain disadvantages. Now let's level the playing field. It sounds very good on paper.
We talked about this before.
This is the definition of racism. When you choose somebody and he publicly said, I'm going to choose a black woman to be the head judge or something for the court. When you already have this in mind, right? Let me ask you, if now there are like really, really solid guys or really, really solid white women or Hispanic or whatsoever, will they have a shot at getting this position? Cannot really. You're given a privilege because you're black and because you're a woman. And the same has to do with the vice president role.
But is she black though?
I think she recently celebrated Deepavali. Okay, here's a comment about Kamala. I think Kamala was just the wrong candidate to project, to put forth lah. People just didn't have faith in her. What are your thoughts on this?
I think it's true. Normally, when they send a candidate up from a party, right, they will have set up like debates. They will fight among themselves first.
Correct.
To dictate who will be the candidate to send up. And then when that happens, everybody then support that candidate. Kamala didn't have this opportunity, right? This time round.
By default, she was given the position.
And when she was running for president at that time, right, she had a lot of chance to like go for interviews and whatnot, but she actually refused a lot of them. Yeah,
That's why Joe Rogan hates her also.
yeah. So like she didn't build trust then. It's time for her to build trust, right? She didn't do it. That's why I believe people vote against her.
Okay, this is the last comment. Hopefully he keeps his promise to end the 2 wars. I hope he fulfill his commitment to bring an end to the 2 wars.
It's a strong thing, no? What a bold thing to say.
But based on what I said earlier, right, I believe he is the only one that can do it.
Who else will the tyrants of the world fear a bit?
Но я не сомневаюсь, что он говорит это искренне.
So I want to share with you all a video by a political scientist. He actually breaks down his reasons for why the election went this way. So we feel it has got a lot to do with policies and stuff, right? Let's watch what he has to say.
Well, let's talk about what Americans voted on. they voted on a country whose direction they did not agree with. Over 70% of Americans, Helen, say that they did not agree with where the country was heading. And when that happens, it is very, very hard to win as an incumbent. And Vice President Harris may not be the president, but she certainly had accountability for alignment with the policies of her Biden administration. So pretty much everybody out there that was unsatisfied with where the United States is going felt like she did not represent change. This is what we have seen around the world. In the developed world, every democracy that has had an election this year has voted against their incumbents. A lot of people in America think that the inflation rate is still the highest ever, think that unemployment is a lot higher than it has been. And the people that say that and believe that were far more likely to vote against the incumbent. So I would say, in descending order of importance, what drove this election was inflation, immigration, and disinformation. And that is something that we have seen all around the world this year.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's very true what he said. And in the video, he mentioned that why the people voted for Trump, right, is because of three main reasons. It's because of inflation, immigration, and disinformation. And I feel that Trump, his message to bring to the people, right, of America, right, is very clear cut to address these three issues. Inflation, he said this, I'm going to decrease cost of living, right, by 50%. Secondly,
we also want Trump, right?
Secondly, he mentioned about, I'm going to secure the border, I'm going to lock down the border. Clear cut, people know what he's going to do.
This is what happened.
Thirdly, he's the best at calling out fake news. Right? He shoot down reporters time and time again during this election.
Yeah, maybe he added to it a bit as well.
You are fake news. Go ahead.
From a political scientist perspective, right, it shows that it is not the common things we associate an election victory with. It is not the policies they espouse, it's not how gung-ho they are and all. It's really how the people have felt during the last few years. If we acknowledge that from his position of authority as a political scientist, he has recognized this globally because he said all around the world people are doing this also. One very interesting thing to note is, what about Singapore? In most of the developed countries in the world, people were voting against the incumbent. The incumbent here is still strong. We are a developed country. There are people in Singapore who also are unhappy with the three things. They hate the idea of inflation.
Yep, everything's so expensive.
Everything expensive, cannot buy food. One fish costs $13. One HDB costs $1 million. All things that make them very unhappy. They are also very unhappy with immigration. The whole Sika idea, some people really hate the expats.
Taking our jobs and whatnot.
And also disinformation. I mean, you look at the amount of POFMA is happening, that's happening and all. So I feel this is also very relevant to our context.
Actually,
Who exactly fits this group of people that he's talking about?
I think it's the opposition. Right, the opposition, the woke people of Singapore.
Yeah, man.
Because I feel those are the ones, right, who will face this issue of disinformation and getting angry with the incumbent because of the existing way the world is moving. Inflation is a global crisis.
Actually, you got to realize people complain, right? It's all about those things. Too many people come.
They take our job.
Too many people come to our country and work, and then all these kind of things.
Yeah. So I feel it is an issue, right, that is plaguing a portion of our society, and that portion of society has a certain style of voting at the polls. Okay, so the results are out. We can't change anything about it, but you have heard our views. What do you think? Do you think Kamala is the better president or Donald Trump is the better president? Let us know and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.